Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel, and if you're here then you realize that we're going to be looking at a custom insecticon salvo, and either you already know who salvo is or you don't. And the reason we're able to look at salvo is because, well, we have this version of Bombshell. It is a second Bombshell and a highly customized Bombshell, so I'm actually going to talk about Bombshell and salvo in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, baby, that's right, light them up by hitting that notification bell. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, Transformers, Collectors, NL, and the Autobot family, as well as Transformers versus G.I. Joe versus DC Universe versus Marvel, and have a look for me everywhere across social media. While you're at it, see what we offer through Teespring, and check us out on Patreon. And this is a custom Bombshell that was sent to me thanks to Non-Metal, who already did some custom work, and I did some more custom work. And I took my original Bombshell and repainted it as the character Salvo, who we will talk about a little bit more. I will say this. In the review, there's two things that I want to note now, before you go in there, because I neglected to mention it there. And they both have to do with Bombshell. First, the section, like, in behind the head, but like inside, you'll notice is still mostly black with a little touch of silver. I have since gone back and kind of painted in that whole section. The other thing that I don't mention is when I run through the articulation, there's actually a piece of articulation different on Bombshell than on Salvo. Salvo is completely stock, including stock hands. Bombshell, however, has not only had little blasters kind of affixed to the arms, the wrists, but has new hands with a, I thought with a wrist swivel. One of them certainly has a wrist swivel. Strange that both of them don't. Perhaps it's supposed to be a piece glued in there, but it fits tight anyway. So I wanted to note that, in fact, not only do we have the new kind of arm blaster pieces, and if you look at the animation, Bombshell actually has the little arm blaster pieces, but there are whole new hands here as well. The level of customization that was done here before I ever got it was stupendous. What I've done since is just add a couple of little touches here and there, but you'll see it up closer when we head over to the table and take a closer look at these two. So I suppose in a way this is, yes indeed, a 2-for-1 type of review, basically, kind of. Now, originally, I looked at Combiner Wars Bombshell a long time ago in episode 168. By the way, there's a ton of like issues with focusing and whatnot in that review. I apologize if you go back and take a look at it, but my thoughts kind of still basically hold true. Now, here's where things get sort of interesting this time around for us. This guy over right here is a customized, fairly heavily customized version of Bombshell. He does not have the pieces on his knees. He does not have like a black head. His piece up here is chromed. He has a custom chrome blaster. He has little pieces on his arms that's part of the, not really part of the mold, that's not true, but it gives him his little arm blasters. Not a lot of people pay attention to that detail. Now, I also painted his lower legs. This was given to me by a friend of the channel, Non-Metal. So I said, fine, that's great. And I think he did it with the explicit purpose and hope that I would give Chrome a chance, because that's what it said on the little bag that he was in. And I have said many times I'm not a big Chrome guy. But I said, hey, you know what? The improvements he made does make Bombshell more accurate. Now, I did have a customized version of Bombshell already, so I said, well, what will I do with him? He gets a little bit of a red wash, and I painted the top of his head black once again, and the front of his little brim there black once again. And I said he'll basically become Salvo. And Salvo is the name of the drones of Bombshell, and they are generally red in color. I had no idea until I looked it up myself. Now my understanding is that Salvo was actually part of like a Generation 1 e-hobby exclusive, like collector's thing with Zap Trap and Shot Hole. S-H-O-T-H-O-L-E. That's how it's spelled. Don't mispronounce it. So those three, in their weird kind of gaudy colors, a lot of red in there, are apparently the actual names of the drones that are part of like the insecticon swarm, so to speak. So since I had a spare Bombshell, I said, hey, why not? Now I did like the original purple on my Bombshell over here. So what I did is I added the red, but I have left some kind of purple accents, highlights, bits, pieces, if you will. The paint apps I originally said were a 7.5 for this guy. I'm going to change that. For Salvo, we're gonna kind of do both here. For Salvo, it's closer to what it should be. There should be some more red, but if you know Salvo, then honestly, this is a solid 9. For Bombshell, now, with his blaster, with his little, like, I guess, arm blasters, with the chrome on this piece up here, and on his face, with the additional silver, with the black, honestly, it too is about a 9. So both of these now are about a 9 in terms of accuracy. The way to make Salvo more accurate would be to paint his lower legs also that red. And the way to make Bombshell more accurate would be basically, at least in robot mode, to turn the purple on his chest into gray. How you would deal with that when we go back to his like beetle mode, I don't know. So I'm going to say 9 for both of it. The articulation I said, and I still stand by, it was a 8.5, still is a 8.5. I'll go through that in a second. And the transformation is a 9, which I'll briefly go through. Why not? The articulation, we have a hand that can go all the way around. I'll take this blaster up. We'll look at that one. That was a custom built blaster, by the way. The arms can bend up, they can, there's a bicep swivel, we have a butterfly because of transformation. The little blaster piece, it can move as well. We have a waist rotation, remember on the Legends class, so that's pretty impressive, I think. The head can go like kind of up and down a little bit and left and right a bit. This one more than this one because I think the head has been modded on this one slightly as well, rather than kind of more like the stock release. The legs go forward, the legs go back, thigh swivel, we have very deep knee. Now, one thing that I didn't realize until very recently is that the Salvo just fell over. Is that the bug legs back here are actually two pieces that are independently articulated from each other. I always thought that they were just one piece, so I was kind of shocked to find that out. It does so much. I mean, hand articulation maybe would be nice, but like that's really about it. I thought that it's easier to show than this guy. I thought that these two back legs here, I always thought that they were one piece, but they're not. They're actually two separate pieces. So I learned something new about the mold, and I think that's really cool. The transformation, honestly, it's pretty simple for the most part. I don't know. Here, I guess we'll show it with this guy. I'll end up doing it with both of them, but we bring that forward and straighten that out. We bring the arms back and bring the arms back, and you rotate those legs out. Then we're going to have this little tab and this little tab, bring those arms together on the back here. Before we do that, we can rotate the lower body around. Now bring these arms together. And because this one has these little wrist blaster pieces, they need to go flip that to the side, otherwise they would stick down like underneath the body too much. And here's what's really interesting. Non-metal actually notched out a path for this piece to like be able to slide back and forth in. Like, I don't think I could even do that. Like, it's such an attention to detail, such a great job. If I can get these pieces together, sometimes they don't particularly like to go together. There. Then we can open out the bug legs, and I guess I should try and get these ones also opened out. There we go. And get that one opened out. There we go. We bring these legs together, and then we will fold them up over the body so that we get Bombshell, boom, in his insect mode. We'll get Salvo in the same thing just so we can see them side by side. In the meantime, here's the little custom blaster that Bombshell was holding in his hand. This apparently is made pretty much completely from scratch. So I think it's kind of impressive that it turned out as well as it did. And we're back with Salvo and Bombshell, and of course they look pretty much the same as you would well expect. I mean, over here we have, you know, the black up here, we have the red on the body, of course we have the purple on the body, and the silver and chrome. The back half is the same thing really because of the black. The one difference that we do have in the back half is right here on the knees. Here we have the two handle pieces stuck out. You could put them down if you want. Can I sort of stand these guys up a bit? I wonder, so you can see. You know, there you go. There's another look at them. So I mean, they're basically the same thing. Overall, I said before that Bombshell was about a 8.5. I still think that overall Bombshell and now Salvo is about an 8.5. And here we are once again, and here they are. Here's the thing, I knew that the Bombshell mold in G1 had been reused somehow, some way. I had no idea it was used for Salvo. I had no idea that the drone of Bombshell had a name. Didn't know that the drones for the other insecticons had names. Now, we have seen drones. We do know that normally they're exact duplicate replicas, even though the E-Hobby trio had separate paint. So I went back, and while I wanted to retain some of the purple on Salvo, I did add a lot of the red just to differentiate the two. And I'll probably consider Salvo to be their own character, or his own character. I wish that I didn't even notice at the time that there were new hands. So I keep finding things on this guy to explore besides the chrome. This was such a well done job, and I'm so thankful to add this guy to my collection. I like this mold from the get-go, any way you cut it. Let me know what you think about the Bombshell mold from the days of Combiner Wars. You know that I appreciate it when you come by and give me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there's a donate link band down in the description, or you can check us out on Patreon, see what we offer through Teespring. Hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. Don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit. Either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way, right here inside the videos.